Okay, so I'm still gonna try something different because I'm putting the microphone down on the laptop now, and I'm sorry because in the last video, if you could tell that the camera comes closer to my face and away from my face, it's because it's on this auto focusing, so it goes straight to my face and like wants to be my face, and I'm like, no. So I'm sorry, it's not me playing with the camera, it's the camera doing it to me. It's thinking like my head needs to be like in the center of your mind. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so I didn't get to tell you about my day. So I went shopping. I got my IRS check. We're talking buku dollars here, people. I made some bank money for the age that I am. If you don't know, I'm only 17, so I made 14. No, I made 21,000 this year. I made good money. But anyway, that's not the point. So I got my income tax check back, and I went shopping because between the lawsuit and my grandmother causing me problems and emotional things, just going through like this little roller coaster and all that stuff. So I thought it was time to cheer myself up by going shopping. So I went to Hollister and Abercrombie, and I'm currently taking all the tags off them and getting them ready to be worn. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm doing. So I'll tell you how my day went. Today I went to my girls came with me, Heather and Cheyenne, and we went shopping at the Tacoma Mall. Now, I picked up, let's see, how I woke up. I only had 3 hours of sleep. I went to bed at 6, and I got up at 9 because my stepsister thought it'd be fun to come and plow on my freaking window and like, hey, are you awake? I'm like, no, I'm not. So I just want you all to picture this moment with me. Shall we just come into my mind and just picture what I looked like this morning? I'm tired. I'm tired right now. And so I wake up. I'm in my boxers and I'm wearing an Abercrombie t-shirt. I know. That's what I said. Oh my god. I'm hot. But the same thing is, it was like, okay. Just my sister. I'm like, okay, she's seen me naked. I mean, what's gonna scare her? So I come out, and of course I'm the only one home, and I walk to the door, and I open the door. Well, I'm not quite wide awake. She brought her boyfriend with her, people. Her boyfriend. So I'm like, oh, hi, who are you? So, he came in the house, and, then I'm like getting up and I'm making tea, and I'm like, so what should I, wear today, Sam? Because I'm going out in public, and I haven't been out in public since, I went to my last conference. And so, sorry, I'm just like folding clothes and talking to you. And so, she says, well, I don't know. I can't ever tell you this way. You pick out my outfits for me. Like, that's true. She goes, well, why don't you ask Chris, my boyfriend? I'm like, honey, you never ask a straight man to pick out your clothes. I mean, honestly. He picks up something off the floor and sniffs it to make sure it's clean. I'm like, ew. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, don't ask me. I don't know much. Like, yeah, we all knew that, straight boy. So I ended up layering because I couldn't decide on what shirt I was going to wear. So I layered. I put blue and then I put a gray shirt over, and it was hot. I mean, what I had to work with, damn. So after that, I was driving. Well, I was low on gas, so I drove to AMPM. And I get there, and I slide my credit card to pay for gas. And the machine says declined. I'm like, what? No. We're talking about Andrew's credit card. Andrew's credit card doesn't decline, people. It just keeps going up. It never goes down. I mean, honestly, my funds never end. I mean, I'm never poor. No, I take that back because I've had moments, like, the last couple months I was poor because of the lawsuit. And it's draining me financially right now. But since I got money, now I'm just spending. Anyway, so I'm there at the gas station. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's something wrong with the pump. So I go into the store and I go to use their ATM there. The machine says out of service. I'm like, what the fuck? So now I'm pissed. I'm like, okay, fine, AMPM, do you don't want my money? I'll go somewhere else. Well, then something just flickers in my head like, oh, well, I overdrafted when I got fired. And I didn't ever pay it because the money I had, I spent for paying for gas and going to school. So now I'm like, mad. So I call the bank and I'm like, what's going on? Did my money come through? Because it was the first thing. Did my money not direct deposit from the States today? And that's why I was freaking out. So she's like, no, Mr. Ballard, it was all direct deposited into your account and that you should be fine. I'm like, okay. And so I don't like this. It's like, doing my chin shot here, and I don't want a chin shot. So anyway, I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on here? And so, she's like, well, your card was shut off because you were overdrafted for a month. And you haven't used your credit card in 2 months. I'm like, and your point is what? So you're going to shut off somebody's credit card because they haven't used it in the last 2 months? She's like, well, no, but you were overdrafted. I'm like, well, was it paid? And she's like, yeah, so then why is my credit card turned off? Yeah, that's what I said too. Only it was a little of a bitch, and it was sounded like fuck, and then it was something else, and I was like pissed. I'm like, damn, bitch. So I'm like, okay, you pissed off the wrong faggot. So I'm like, this will be fixed now. She's like, well, we can't do it. You have to call a supervisor and have them do it. I'm like, you are gonna do it, sweet pea. So I ended up having to do it because the broad at the front desk was not helpful at all. So I called the main branch, which is like in Gig Harbor. I mean, honestly, you would think it'd be Tacoma or like Seattle or Olympia. Oh no, it's out in the butt frickin' across the water. I'm like, oh, what's going on here, people? In the middle of nowhere. Anyway, so I call. Oh, within 5 seconds after talking to the frickin' woman at the front desk, it was turned on. Because this bitch gets what he wants. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not serious like a stuck-up bitch, but I'm perceived as one. It's really your call, really. I mean, I'm not really. I'm a really nice person I get along with, but you'll just have to pick it up in my videos. You'll see my moods. So anyway, it's more funnier if I'm bitchy, and people like that, because people like bitchy people when they're funny. I mean, bitchy people are funny. I love the word bitch. So anyway. So I'm driving down Meridian as I'm on the phone talking to the bank to fix it. So I'm like, hallelujah! So I'm like, okay, I got money in the bank. I'm trucking. So I go ahead and I go down to AM, PM. I buy my gas, and then I shoot down Meridian, going down to Auburn. And this really hot guy on a crotch rocket, crotch rocket, pulls up right beside me. I'm like whipping out the camera, like, I'm gonna take your picture, I gotta take your picture, And so I take his picture and I send it to everybody I know on my phone, and they all loved it. I mean, honestly, who couldn't? A man with a leather jacket, tight jeans, and his underwear's hanging out, and it was great. It was like, oh my god, this is heaven. Thank you. So then I let's see, I drove down to Auburn, picked up Heather, sorry, forgot who I was talking about, and so we're leaving there going back to Tacoma, or no, we're going to Eatonville because I had to go pick up Cheyenne, and so I stop, and this construction guy was walking across the street, and I'm like, you're fine. And I yell this out the window. Now, knowing me, everybody, you know that I don't scream out, like, things like people when they're walking past me. I might say it in my car really loud, but I wouldn't say it to their face. I mean, I'm a bitch, but I'm not that kind of a bitch. I'll talk shit behind your back before I'll tell it to your face, because I know that you don't want to get your face pounded, and I'm too pretty to get hurt. That's all I'm saying. So he just laughed. He was so cute. He's just smiling. He just like waving. He thought that was the best thing in the world. So I almost had Heather peeing on my seats because she thought it was so funny. I mean, it was funny. So we drove to Eatonville, and we get to Tacoma, and we go into the mall. And I didn't know David worked at the Tacoma Mall. I only thought he worked at the South Hill Mall, and he worked for my grandma, which the person I'm suing. And we're walking in, all three of us, and we're having a great time, and all of a sudden, I see this blonde guy at the T-Mobile stand. I'm like, oh my god. Did hell freeze over? Because it looks like it has. So now I'm panicking because this guy hates my guts. Absolutely hates my guts. And I don't know why. I mean, we're not going to go into it. It's a long story. We'll cover it in another episode. It's just not time for now. So you'll know David now, and then you'll learn about him later. So we walk past him. I spend $300 between Abercrombie and Hollister. And then I'm looking for a shoe store. Now, he's told me in the past that I'm his stalker. People, his stalker. Yeah, I'm not his stalker. I got better things to do and buy than stalk him. Yeah, I think so. So now it does look like I'm stalking him because I'm having to pass him like 4 times because I'm looking for a certain shoe store. And of course they don't have my shoe store, which I will only buy shoes from this certain shoe store. I'm like, no, it's not working out here. So finally about the 5th time passing him, I'm like, okay, we're leaving. So we leave, and I take, it was just funny. So we take,